for a reason. So I think it's good to memorize this story. It's very simple and short story, and share with our friends and family about how our life transforms once we move on a spiritual path, which is getting to know our mind, our life, the reality. Yeah, so I would love to hear from you this story when we meet. And yes, you can tell the story, like practicing with me. And also, if you can write a short paragraph about how this boy's mind transforms, what is transforming his mind. So let's read the story and find out, and then meditate on it. So it's like a, yeah, homework. The path once hated becomes a delight. How is it possible to enjoy perfect freedom in a world filled with constraints? It is difficult to explain in terms that everyone can understand, but perhaps the following story will give some idea. A young boy took a path over a mountain every day on his way to and from school. On days when he stayed late for some after school activity, the mountain would be scarily dark on his way home. In summer, the sun burned fiercely hot, and in winter he was often forced to crouch down amid the howling wind of a blizzard. Rain turned the hilly path to a cataract. Filled with resentment, the boy would frequently mutter to himself, "If only the school were closer, if only this mountain weren't here." Then one day a pretty little girl transferred to his school. As it turned out, she was from his same village. The two of them began walking to and from school together, chatting about how far the way was and how deserted the mountain. In no time, they were fast friends. On their way home one afternoon, a sudden cloudburst hit them. The rain showed no sign of letting up. Between them, they had only one umbrella, the little girl's. Finding himself cozily sharing an umbrella with her, the boy prayed silently all the way home. "Don't let the rain stop. Let the mountain be more deserted. Let the village be farther away." The things that had previously tormented him, the great length, difficulty, and isolation of the mountain path, had not changed, and yet they no longer gave him concern. Once obstacles to the boy's pleasure, they now became part and parcel of it. Everyone has probably had a similar experience at one time or another. Okay, very good. So please meditate on how does the little boy's mind transform completely after he had the encounter with the little girl. So the little girl is obviously a symbol, because if it's just a girlfriend or a partner, as we all know, everything is impermanent. So it cannot be just a partner or a good friend, because she will move to another school, or she's going to get married in the future, not necessarily to him, and he cannot rely on her all the time. So what does that symbolize in Buddhism? And how the mind transforms from complaining to gratitude and joyfulness. Okay. Okay, let's read a little bit more here. Freedom amid constraints. Let us return to the passage above from lamenting the deviations. It should not be inferred that because gods of heaven and earth bow down in reverence before the practitioner of faith, he or she is accorded universal respect. After all, Shinran himself was a constant target of slander and abuse. Rather, the statement means that Gods of heaven and earth are awed by the wonder of Amida's vow that destroys the mind of darkness, and by the believer's determination to spread word of the vow. Likewise, the phrase evil spirits and heretics can pose no obstacle does not mean that misfortune and calamity will disappear, or that there will be an end to the criticism and attacks of non-Buddhists and heretics. It means rather that once people know the joy of living and rejoice in having been born human, then no matter what scorn or persecution they may experience, their conviction and progress are undeterred as they spread word of the wonders of Amida's vow. Mindful solely of the depth of Amida's benevolence, I pay no mind to others' derision. Herein lies the secret of the mental toughness, rigor, and courage that enabled Shinran to keep pushing forward throughout his 90 years alone and encircled by foes. What does unaffected by any recompense for evil mean? It means that no return for evil has any effect on Amida's salvation. The great peace of mind that comes from knowing rebirth in the Pure Land is assured whenever death comes. The vow of Amida was made for sinners destined beyond all doubt for hell, capable of any vile deed. This is why a person of the Nembutsu, or one saved by the vow, is unaffected by any recompense for evil. Okay, so up to here. So you can enjoy absolute freedom in your heart, entering this world of no hindrance when the darkness of mind is dispelled by the vow of Amida Buddha, and have no fear. All we want is to spread the vow, to share with other people so they too can find liberation from their suffering. So good job everyone for being here practicing together. Today is Friday. We're going to have our Purpose and Meaning Lab at 3 p.m. Pacific, and also Morita Sensei's Advanced Group Session at 5 p.m. Pacific. And also we have Rumi's class tonight at 7 p.m. on Zoom. And have a wonderful Friday. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Gary, and everyone.